This is News 3 Now at 5.
Well, thanks for staying with us. Outdoor dining might be a little tougher to swallow as this weather gets colder and colder.
Madison area businesses that have already been hit hard by state and local orders realize it's going to take some creativity to stay afloat. Our Gabriella Becerra went downtown to see what some restaurants are planning. Gabby?
Madison's Streetery Restaurant Relief Program was set to expire yesterday. It's since been extended, but that program can't help all of the businesses, especially as these cold temperatures set in. You can grab a burger to go with your beer at the Irish Pub on State Street, but with more of an emphasis on pub, they're forced to serve you outside.
We're relying solely on the patio.
That could soon leave owner Jess Dye out in the cold. She says most days are hit or miss and there's much colder ones on the way.
Now it's very cold out. Like, we'll have a few people come through, maybe for a quick beer, but it's nothing sustainable.
Many restaurants and bars took advantage of the City of Madison's Streetery Restaurant Relief Program this summer. It allowed some restaurants to block off parts of the street with tables. That wasn't an option on State Street, nor were summer events that typically help businesses save up to survive the colder months.
Wintertime down here is slow anyway, but this will definitely be the slowest.
Instead, Dye joined other downtown businesses in creating a GoFundMe page to make up for those losses.
The big thing for me is that we're never closed. You know, we don't want to lose our regulars. We don't want people to forget about us.
And even as fewer people fill their patio seats, the pub intends to stay open for those who wish to stop by.
Or maybe we'll just have 2 tables out or 4 tables. But as long as if someone wants to come in and get takeout food, have a quick beer on the patio while they're waiting for their food, I mean, any little thing I can do to help, I will.
The city extended the Streetery program until next April. The extension includes some modifications, including having a snow plan approved by the street superintendent.
Gabriella Becerra live downtown. Gabby, thank you. We're adding coronavirus cases very quickly in Wisconsin, surpassing 200,000 total cases today. It took just 5 weeks to add 100,000 new cases after taking 7 months to hit the first 100,000. There were 3,251 new cases confirmed today, which puts the state's all-time total at 201,477. The State Department of Health Services says about 20% of those cases are active and 10 more people have died. There are now 4 people in the alternate care facility at State Fair Park. That includes a 34-year-old nurse named Amanda Best from Appleton. She initially felt typical cold-like symptoms, but tested negative. Her fever and breathing got worse, so she got tested again. She came back positive for COVID-19 with double pneumonia.
It is so bad right now in the hospitals, and I could tell. I mean, even with the care, they were trying the best they could, but there's so many other patients too that, like, I needed help, but not as much. I can kind of do some things on my own.
Coronavirus cases are rising in 44 states, including Wisconsin. No states are seeing declines. And in the last 2 weeks, half of all U.S. states have set single-day records for new cases.
People waiting on booster shots in UW's COVID vaccine trial won't have to wait much longer. Last week, UW Health announced they can start that trial back up again. It's been on hold since September. AstraZeneca paused injections after a volunteer in Great Britain developed a neurological condition. Other countries resumed the trial since then, but the FDA took longer to sign off on it here in the U.S. UW's Dr. Jeff Pothoff says trial restarts are common.
When we do have a vaccine that gets approved and the world scientists say, yep, this one's safe, this one's effective, here's all the data, that's going to be a true statement. There isn't going to be the ability to maybe ram a vaccine down people's throats based on other motives.
A recent poll showed a sharp decrease in the number of Americans who would get a vaccine right away.
Pfizer is expanding its coronavirus vaccine trial to include younger children. As part of its trial last week, Cincinnati Children's Hospital gave shots to 100 kids as young as 12. Pfizer developed the vaccine with German company BioNTech. The doctor leading the trial says they can test the vaccine on children because of safety data from the 30,000 adults who already got the vaccine. Pfizer is the only leading drug company letting minors test a coronavirus vaccine.
Well, a chilly start to the week. Let's check your first warn forecast. Here is Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti.
Well, while a lot of us saw our first flakes of snow, the reason it's staying cold is because of the snow that's widespread to our north and west. If you look at visible cloud track, the white that doesn't move across Minnesota and northwestern Wisconsin, that's snow on the ground. You can see where the skies cleared out around Madison during the afternoon. The ground shows up darker because there's not any snow on the ground here. So as long as the winds are out of the northwest, it's coming off of that snow cover. For the most part, other than some snow showers downwind from Lake Superior up in the northern and eastern portions of the UP of Michigan, things are relatively quiet across the upper Midwest. Right now, our low temperatures this morning dropped into the mid to upper 20s. Madison dropped down to 28 degrees. Right now, we're just barely above freezing at 35. Janesville's at 36. And by tomorrow morning, we'll be back into the middle 20s with partly cloudy skies. Tomorrow, skies become mostly sunny, but it won't help temperatures too much. High temperatures still in the upper 30s, but we will start to turn the corner as we head toward midweek. I'll have more details on weather in a few minutes.
Gary, thank you. President Trump and Joe Biden are focused on a state they both desperately want to win, both campaigning in Pennsylvania today. Biden's visit to the Keystone State was a surprise. He's slightly ahead in the latest CBS News poll there. Earlier, the president broke with his chief of staff, Mark Meadows, who said Sunday the administration is, quote, not going to control the pandemic.
No, not at all. In fact, the opposite. Absolutely the opposite. We've done an incredible job.
Donald Trump is the worst possible president, the worst possible person to try to lead us through this pandemic. He just either doesn't have any idea what to do or he just doesn't care.
The White House is experiencing another COVID outbreak, this time in the vice president's office, with several staffers, including Chief of Staff Mark Short, testing positive in recent days. Vice President Pence has repeatedly tested negative.
Wisconsin is getting attention from both campaigns. President Trump will hold a rally near La Crosse tomorrow. Vice President Mike Pence will be in Mosinee on Wednesday, and Second Lady Karen Pence will be in Waterloo on Wednesday. Joe Biden will be also making a stop in Wisconsin on Friday, but his campaign hasn't announced yet where he will be. A new poll from UW-Madison's Elections Research Center and YouGov shows former Vice President Joe Biden with growing leads over President Trump in several battleground states just days before Election Day. The most recent surveys conducted between October 13th and October 21st found Biden leads President Trump among likely voters in Michigan, Pennsylvania, and Wisconsin. The margin of error for the survey among likely voters was around 4%. Biden's lead in all three states is outside of that margin of error. We'll have more on this study and break it down further tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
Now, if you were a betting person, what city in Wisconsin do you think might have the highest early voting turnout?
Charlotte Deleste tells us about the challenge that a handful of Wisconsin mayors are involved in as we get closer to Election Day. Charlotte?
Susan and Eric, mayors from Madison, Milwaukee, Green Bay, Racine, and Kenosha are all feeling pretty lucky right now. But as we already know, in 2020, anything can happen. Those mayors met today virtually to share what each city is doing to make sure people have access to early voting and it is completely safe. Some examples cited are drop boxes and drive-through voting. The end goal is to see which city comes out on top with the highest percentage of early voting participants. But Madison Mayor Satya Rhodes Conway threw down another challenge.
I actually would like to issue a challenge to cities all across the state of Wisconsin to join us in this and see if you can post your numbers on your own social media and let's get those percentages up. Certainly, I'm going to be pushing on the Madison numbers.
On the line, bragging rights. There is no physical prize, just bragging rights, as I said, safe elections and people participating in their democracy. So every day between now and the election, each mayor will post daily percentage numbers on their social media pages. And for those of you in Madison who haven't voted yet, please consider voting early. There's still time.
Charlotte, thank you. And Dane County voters are continuing to show up at the polls. As of yesterday, over 112,000 ballots have been issued in the city of Madison. 84% have been returned. The Madison City Clerk says over 10,000 people have voted in-person absentee since it started just last week. And in Middleton, over 10,000 absentee ballots have been mailed. 85% have been returned.
In order for democracy to work, we have to participate in it, of course, and that is why one local high school senior is taking matters into her own hands to make sure that young voices are heard.
And Jamie Perez tells us more about what this student is doing to make sure it happens.
Well, this senior just turned 18 in late September, so this will be her first time voting, but she's also making sure that other 18-year-olds cast their ballot this year as well. She pulled together a group of 12 students to help lead their group called La Follette Votes. On their Instagram page, they post about how to vote, how to change your address when registering to vote, how to find your voting district, and more. And when I asked her why this is so important to her, this was her response.
Like, personally, I can't just sit back and not do anything about everything that's happening in our world.
And that is exactly what led her to this. Coming up tonight on News 3 Now at 6, I will share with you what she told me is the ultimate goal of this group.
Jamie, thank you. An organizer of an effort to recall Wisconsin Democratic Governor Tony Evers says the effort has failed. Misty Polinsky posted the Recall Evers petition Facebook page today, posted on that page that not enough signatures were collected. She did not say how close the group came to meeting the nearly 670,000 signatures needed to force an election. But she says the petitions collected will be destroyed in part so the names of those who signed the petition will not become public. Tuesday was the deadline for the group to submit the required signatures.
The 2022 race for U.S. Senate here in Wisconsin is now on. Democrat Tom Nelson, the Outagamie County executive, a former state lawmaker, officially launched his bid to unseat Republican Senator Ron Johnson today. Senator Johnson, currently midway through his second term, has not yet said whether he'll seek a third term, run for a different office, or retire from politics.
There's more to come tonight on News 3 Now at 5. When we come back, Judge Amy Coney Barrett is set to become Supreme Court Justice Barrett with a Senate vote on her confirmation, which is planned for tonight. We'll have the latest from Capitol Hill. And coming up next hour, a warning from doctors about putting off surgeries during the pandemic. That's tonight on News 3 Now at 6. The rise in COVID cases taking its toll on Wall Street today. The Dow tumbling more than 650 points. The NASDAQ was down 189. The S&P lost 64. And we'll be right back.
Early voting is open in Wisconsin. You can same-day register and vote at an early voting site near you. Bring your photo ID when you go. The Democratic National Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
The Social Security Administration just released a report saying that if a plan like the one Trump is proposing goes into effect, the Social Security Trust Fund would be, and I quote, permanently depleted by the middle of calendar year 2023. Put it plainly, Trump's plan would wipe out Social Security. If I'm your president, we're going to protect Social Security and Medicare. You have my word. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
I'm a mom, a grandma, and a business owner. Our family repaired 3 barns and a 100-year-old farmhouse for our small business. I was raised to believe in hard work and that a person's word is sacred. As your assemblywoman, I'll work hard for our small towns and family farms, to rebuild our schools and main streets, and be your fiscal watchdog to make sure our tax dollars come back to work for us here at home.
There is only one America. No Democratic rivers. No Republican mountains. Just this great land and all that's possible on it, with a fresh start. Cures we can find, futures we can shape, work to reward, dignity to protect. There is so much we can do if we choose to take on problems and not each other, and choose a president who brings out our best. Joe Biden doesn't need everyone in this country to always agree. Just to agree we all love this country, and go from there.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Early Early voting is open in Wisconsin. You can same-day register and vote at an early voting site near you. Bring your photo ID when you go. The Democratic National Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Hi, folks. Tuesday morning is looking like another cold one. Hattie will have what we need to know in her forecast.
And 1 week from Election Day, post office officials are working to show the public that they can be trusted with a historic number of absentee ballots.
See you Tuesday. A core part of the Democratic base in Wisconsin does come from Dane County and Milwaukee County.
And those voters could play a pivotal role in electing our next president. News 3 Now shows you who's working hard to make it happen. Tonight at 10. You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
Welcome back, everyone. The Republican-controlled U.S. Senate is scheduled to take a final vote tonight confirming Amy Coney Barrett to the U.S. Supreme Court. President Trump chose Barrett to replace the late Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg following her death just 38 days ago. Senate Republicans inched closer to confirming Judge Barrett to the Supreme Court despite objections from Democrats. Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin is one of the senators who pulled an all-nighter to protest the final vote.
I oppose this illegitimate process, and I oppose Judge Barrett's confirmation for a lifetime appointment to our highest court, because I do not have faith in her being a fair and independent Supreme Court justice for the American people.
Judge Barrett will approach each case without prejudices or preconceived notions.
I will be a yes. I have no doubt about her intellect.
The 48-year-old is expected to be seated in time to hear some key cases, including one involving LGBTQ rights on November 4th and another challenging the Affordable Care Act on November 10th. She'll also be on the bench to preside over any cases that might arise from the presidential election.
Another fire in California. This is the Silverado fire. It's in the Santiago Canyon near Irvine. It started this morning, and in a matter of hours, CAL FIRE said it grew from 10 acres to 500. It was reported just before 7 a.m. Just 2 hours later, over 60,000 people had to evacuate. Firefighters are doing what they can, but strong winds are making things worse there. There's no word yet on how that fire started.
Zeta strengthened to a hurricane as it heads towards Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, and then likely a move for landfall on the central U.S. Gulf Coast. Zeta is the earliest ever 27th named storm of the Atlantic season. The storm is expected to move over the Yucatan late tonight, and it will then head into the Gulf of Mexico and approach the U.S. Gulf Coast, possibly making landfall near New Orleans Wednesday evening.
Let's get a look at our first warned weather. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary?
Well, first, let's just take a look at Zeta. As you just mentioned, it has now become a hurricane with maximum sustained winds of 80 miles an hour, gusts to 100 miles per hour, moving northwest at 10 miles per hour. Probably going to move over the Yucatan Peninsula of Mexico, very similar to what Hurricane Delta did just a few weeks ago. And you can see, depending on how much interaction it has with the Yucatan Peninsula, it probably will be right around hurricane strength as it moves back into the Gulf of Mexico. Strengthens a little bit. Now, the waters near the U.S. Gulf Coast are a little bit cooler. That might weaken it a little bit, but the fast movement might make up for that. And you can see this is by 7 p.m. Wednesday, the storm just south of New Orleans, probably making landfall, then racing northeastward into Georgia and the Carolinas, and then back out into the Atlantic Ocean as a tropical depression or some hybrid of a tropical depression and merging with another weather system. But so far, hurricane watches are now in effect for the New Orleans metro area, as well as much of eastern Louisiana and the southern portion of Alabama. Tropical storm watches, westward or southern Mississippi, southern Alabama, Florida Panhandle under a tropical storm watch, as well as parts of central Louisiana, and a storm surge watch in effect for much of that Gulf Coast region from the far western portions of Florida through the central portions of Louisiana, including the New Orleans metro area. Three things you need to know in our forecast. We're going to stay chilly for tomorrow with high temperatures only in the 30s. Temperatures will be slightly below normal, but getting back up at least closer to where we should be for this time of year, beginning on Wednesday and lasting through the weekend. And then we're going to see dry weather, not only for the rest of this week, but probably through all of next week and maybe even beyond. Just a slight chance for a shower south of Madison on Thursday afternoon, but other than that, we should stay mainly dry. There is snow on the ground from the weekend snows to our north and west, especially over western Minnesota, northeastern South Dakota, some areas with over 9 inches of snow on the ground, but a widespread area of 1 to 3 inches of snow through much of northwestern Wisconsin and into northern Iowa. Here in southern Wisconsin, just some trace amounts, mainly north of Madison, and you can see the effect that it has on temperatures. Over that snow cover, temperatures mainly in the 20s and low 30s. At least over the bare ground, temperatures are in the mid to upper 30s over southern Wisconsin, but it's going to stay cold as long as the winds are out of the northwest near the ground. That will change over the next couple of days. In fact, upper level winds are starting to shift a little more southwesterly direction. You can see to our south, weather system that's brought snow and rain into parts of Missouri and Kansas. This weather system is going to bring rain and ice into parts of Texas and parts of Oklahoma. In fact, you can see right now rain down into southern Illinois, but to the south and west there are winter storm warnings and ice storm warnings in effect for parts of Oklahoma and Kansas. Right now temperatures are mainly in the 20s and 30s, even teens by the time you get to Denver. No really mild air until you get south of the Ohio River, and even there temperatures are mainly in the lower 50s. Future track shows generally clear to partly cloudy skies tonight and through the day tomorrow, and then you can see after that maybe partly sunny skies. As we head toward Wednesday night and Thursday, that weather system to our south bringing some clouds. Most of the rain will stay south of us, but a possibility there could be a slight chance for a shower. Tomorrow, though, skies will become mostly sunny. It'll be chilly. High temperature tomorrow at 38 degrees. And as we check out the 7 to 10 day forecast, notice those temperatures staying on the cool side, but at least closer to the average high temperature, which is in the lower 50s. As we head through the weekend, you can see Halloween Saturday looking pretty nice. Sunday, we move our clocks back on the first day of November and Election Day. Right now looking pretty nice as well with sunny skies, highs in the middle 50s. As we take a look at first warn traffic, things pretty quiet out on the roads, too. Beltline, not seeing any major problems there. East Washington Avenue, a few slowdowns on the eastbound side, heading out toward Easttown Shopping Mall. Otherwise, on the Beltline, a quick 14-minute trip in either direction between University Avenue and the interstate. Heading out of Madison, 26 minutes from the Beltline southward to Janesville on I-3990. 16 minutes to Sauk City on US 12 from Middleton northwestward, and then from downtown to Sun Prairie on East Washington Avenue and US 151. It's a 17-minute commute. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
Gary, thank you. Ahead on News 3 Now at 5, Badger quarterback Graham Mertz recognized for that spectacular performance on Friday night. We'll tell you how.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
If you elect me, your taxes are going to be raised, not cut.
What does that mean for you? Household incomes down $6,500 a year. Higher gas prices at the pump and utility bills at home.
And here's how it works. I'm going to raise taxes.
Small businesses pay more. 5 million jobs lost.
You're going to get a tax raise.
An economy in ruins. That's what Joe Biden's tax increase means for you.
I'm Donald J. Trump, and I approve this message.
At Blaine's Farm and Fleet, we live where you live, so we know getting ready for winter is essential. We're your cold weather experts with everything you need to gear up for the cold, snowy weather ahead. Like 25% off zero-exposure outerwear for the family. Select winter boots for the family are $10 off. And get your vehicle ready for winter with new tires. Buy 3, get 1 free. Plus, buy online and pick up your items in our convenient drive-thru. You don't even need to get out of your car.
Find value at Blaine's Farm and Fleet. If you lose direction, you can grab my hand. I'll be the one behind you to say no. One-man band. Just follow your dreams and keep your promises.
We're all different, but we all want a Medicare plan that meets our needs. That's why we'll help you find yours, even if it's not ours. Register for an online seminar or a one-on-one appointment with a friendly rep today.
He's our independent voice who answers to no one but us, Todd Novak. Todd Novak is working across the aisle, passing the bipartisan COVID-19 relief bill, helping hospitals and communities get the resources needed to fight the coronavirus. Todd Novak is helping families, small businesses, and farmers as we work to rebuild the economy safely. And Todd Novak led the bipartisan effort to make sure our water is clean and safe for future generations. Our voice, Todd Novak for State Assembly.
This is an important election announcement. Early voting is open in Wisconsin. You can same-day register and vote at an early voting site during the one-stop early voting period. Don't forget to bring your photo ID when you go. Go to iwillvote.com and see where you can early vote now. The Democratic National Committee is responsible for the content of this advertising.
Things can change in a heartbeat. I know. My wife and 3 children were Christmas shopping. Tractor trailer killed my wife and killed my daughter. I was probably the only senator ever sworn in a hospital because I didn't want to leave my sons.
For Joe Biden, health care access is personal. And in coronavirus's wake, we need Joe's plan. Double the number of testing sites, free vaccines, save and extend Obamacare. A real plan and the resilience to lead the way. FF PAC is responsible for the content of this ad.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
After his nearly perfect performance during his starting debut with the Badgers, quarterback Graham Mertz has been named the Big Ten Co-Offensive Player of the Week and the Big Ten Freshman of the Week as well. Mertz, 20 of 21, 5 touchdown passes, lead the Badgers over the Illini 45-7 Friday night. His start this coming Saturday at Nebraska in doubt after reports say Mertz tested positive for COVID-19. Now, we are still waiting on the results of a second test, but today head coach Paul Chryst said the game should happen this weekend. We'll hear more from him in sports tonight on News 3 Now at 6.
For the first time ever, NASA is confirming that there is water below the surface of the moon that's exposed to the sun. The agency announced the discovery today, saying it was made using its Sophia telescope. The amount of water is just a fraction of what you would find in the Sahara Desert. In a separate study, NASA said there could be more water than previously believed in tiny lunar ice patches that are permanently protected from the sun. Scientists say that water could be a crucial resource in future moon missions.
And stay with us. We'll have a final check of your first warn forecast in just a moment.
Hey, Madison voters, don't let the pandemic suppress your vote. Create your safe voting plan now. You have options. Visit cityofmadison.com/clerk to create your safe voting plan today. Brought to you by the Madison City Clerk's Office.
Attention, fellow seniors. This election will determine your Medicare benefits. Under President Trump, Medicare premiums in Wisconsin have gone down 21%. But with the Biden-Harris health care plan, Medicare will change. Private insurance eliminated. Hospitals closed. You could even lose your doctor. Protect your Medicare coverage. Vote for President Trump. Learn more at seniorsbeware.com.
I'm Donald Trump, and I approve this message.
Update the lighting in your home with help from Menards. Find your style with Patriot Lighting ceiling fans. We carry a great selection of ceiling fans, so you're sure to find a look that's right for you. Now's the time to save with 11% off all Patriot Lighting ceiling fans. We also carry a great selection of LED bulbs in stock. Pick up this 4-pack of LED bulbs for $4.98 after 11% rebate.
Save big money at Menards.
Real customers are experiencing a real difference with Spectrum Internet and TV.
The speed is insane. It's always right there. Just boom.
It was easy to connect all of my devices, and I was able to find a plan that was affordable for me.
I'm saving money, and I'm even getting more speed.
Get the speed you need to do all the things you love on all your devices with Spectrum Internet, delivering the fastest starting speeds for the price. 200 megabits. Switch now for $44.99 a month. Call 833-918-4499.
With Spectrum TV, the picture quality is incredible. I feel like I'm in the movie.
The amount of stuff available on Spectrum On Demand is just never ending.
Add Spectrum TV and enjoy more free HD and more free on demand. Plus, use the Spectrum TV app to watch live TV on the go. All from $44.99 a month. Call 833-918-4499.
Spectrum gives me the best deal no matter what.
Every day I'm saving money.
Get Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each with no contracts. Ask about our easy self-install options to install your new services yourself. Call 833-918-4499.
Here's how my plan works. Anyone making less than $400,000 a year won't pay a penny more. But I'm going to ask the very big corporations to pay their fair share. We're going to invest in creating millions of good-paying jobs. We're going to ease the burden of the major costs in your life. Healthcare. We're going to protect Social Security, increase the benefits for millions of seniors. When I announced I was running, I said that's the reason, to rebuild the backbone of this country. Hard-working folks in the middle class. I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Hey, Madison voters, don't let the pandemic suppress your vote. Create your safe voting plan now. You have options. Visit cityofmadison.com/clerk to create your safe voting plan today. Brought to you by the Madison City Clerk's Office.
It's a chilly one out there. Gary has a final check.
At least most of our viewing area doesn't have snow on the ground. That's keeping temperatures a few degrees warmer than areas out toward La Crosse, where there is a couple of inches of snow on the ground. Temperatures are already at or below freezing. By tomorrow morning, we'll be in the middle 20s here in Madison. Highs tomorrow, upper 30s with sunny skies. Look for temperatures to remain a little closer to normal beginning on Wednesday. There's a slight chance for a shower south of Madison on Thursday, dry through the weekend and Election Day.
We'll be back in 30 minutes for News 3 Now at 6. The CBS Evening News coming away next. Stay tuned.